when we look at karma like this, that आपने ये किया है तो आपको ये मिले, it's I find it very masculine in its approach, that it's very firm. It has no room for any faltering happening, right? Which kind of takes away the whole feminine essence, because feminine is more fluid,
more possibilities.
More possibilities.
Yes.
So, according to you, then what exactly is karma? Like, where does it fall into? Like, is it more masculine, more feminine? How does it happen?
Very little part of karma is masculine. There's very, very little part of karma, let's say only 5%, that is like an eye for an eye. Okay. And that is because of a curse. Like, for example, I had a case where a woman had a child who was, the child was born with a huge scar on their belly. Okay. And the child would keep crying, touching it and keep crying, touching it and keep crying. And the doctor could not understand, because neither was the mother suffering from anything, neither was the child suffering from anything. And the child had to become 4 to 5 years for the doctors to really do some invasive tests to find out what it is. Sure. And they were just not able to. And the child would just cry at a particular time in the night holding that, because it was burned. We had to wait for the child to, grow up to tell us what's happening. And when we opened the Akashic records, the family Akashic records, we saw that there was a lady in their family who was burnt alive. And she said that you guys will not have children, or the children who will be born will die, until one girl will be born with my pain. And you will know what it means to burn. Okay? So this happens very rarely. And then we cleanse the records and all of that. It took about a year and a half. One of the myths that people have is, karmic clearing just happens. We go for a session and it happens in the next day. Maggie noodles. And it took a lot of time. It took lots of things. But the child now has the scar. The scar is now fading away. The child is 7 now. And now it's going, it's cleansed and all of that. And part of that curse may be played as her never getting married again, but we'll come to that later. So whenever you say that there is no room for femininity or possibility, I think only 5% karma plays out like that. Okay. The rest of it has a possibility, has a probability. There are ways to sort of go through it. Okay. Although there's a part of karma that you need to experience, but the burden can be lighter.
The whole point that, there would be 4 yugas, there would be Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug, right? And the fact that the Kalyug will have so many bad karmas, like the world would literally reach to that abhorrible ending that God himself would have to come down to earth. This was all scripted by him, right? In a way, right? So when he's already written that there would be so many bad karmas, obviously you need someone for execution. But then the karma lies on the mediums who are doing it.
So this is one way of seeing it. Yeah. I think if we stick to God being the energy and watching things. So for example, when it is night, then there's a dark night, darkest part of the night, and then there is a day. Yeah. Or let's take a human being whoever is born, goes through, the whole cycle of this thing, and then towards the end suffers a lot and then dies, or maybe has disease and then dies. Everything that starts needs to have an end. That is how, the world is created. Things start, then there's a cycle, and then it ends. That is in any case naturally going to happen. The yuga will start, the yuga will end. Something will start, it will end. Now your soul needs to ride the wave. Which wave do I want to ride? Do I want to ride the wave in which it's ascending? Like, for example, 2025 to 2029 are years that spiritually the earth is ascending. And we all have chosen to be born here. How interesting. We have so much of free will that we decided we wanted to be born here. And now if someone needs to burn off a lot of things that they've done, they may choose to be born during a world war. Right? And then maybe just sort of go away after that. What is seen as suffering on the human plane is actually the soul rejoicing because it is learning and evolving. The whole process of the whole point or purpose of the soul is to learn. And what you and I see as suffering is actually a great, great achievement for the soul. It's like you may think that, someone with a bullet lodged in his thigh, the mother will say, and he's an army guy, the mother will say, oh my God, my poor child. But the world will see him as a victorious person. He's going to see himself as a hero. So there are always different ways of seeing it. So what you and I are calling suffering, that, there are so many things happening, these souls are so happy because they are being liberated and they are burning away their previous karma. So it's just a cause and effect. And this is just a role play that we are doing. And no, it's not a story of God being there and we being here. No, it's just an energy experiencing another energy. Because we are actually a part of the same energy. So when I say the divine in me bows to the divine in you, we are both the same energy experiencing life in different ways. So I think what an exciting thing to happen, that we even have the choice of choosing which karma we are going to come here with, and then choosing our parents accordingly and choosing our lessons accordingly. For example, if someone doesn't, is not married or is a single parent like I am, a lot of people can say that it's really very sad. But trust me, it's extremely liberating, because my whole purpose over here was spirituality and, raising the awareness and light. I feel very, very free to do the work that I need to do now. So when we understand why we are here, when we understand what we have chosen, I think, Natasha, that many people don't know why they are here and they don't know what is their purpose. So the only thing we have to be very careful about is the Kriyaman Karma that we are creating now. What are we creating now? And like we are talking, the fastest way to create Kriyaman Karma is speech. So that's why all those yogis in those years used to be silent, because they didn't want to create more karma and therefore wanted to escape, or let's say end the cycle of birth and death.
2 questions from here. One is that me even going into that contemplation, that, it's on me how I look at it, and this can be good, this can be bad. That is also because of my karma. Like, can I get this realization? Can I come to this point where I feel that I'm responsible for my actions and I need to do it in the right way? And what I understood is that God is just the energy. You just basically take the downloads, insights and wisdom from Him so that you can navigate through life, right? But can I come to that point if my karmas were not like that in my lifetimes so far? Can I reach to that point?
Yes, that is a part of free will.
Okay.
It's a part of conditioning. It's a part of, but yes, if you have chosen your prarabdha in such a way that you are surrounded by darkness or by, dark people, or the circumstances around you, people are not very evolved, still it's a free will. And that is why the concept of God exists in every religion, because that always is there, always is light that we can follow. Again, it's our free will whether we want to believe in it or not. And it's not a realization, it's an awareness. And the awareness is far easier than realization, because realization takes, a lot of work. But awareness is there. So in all religions, people will say, bow down to God before you go to an exam or whatever. The triggers and the signals are always there for everybody. Some people will say, I don't want to, what can he do? In any case, last time I asked him for something, it didn't happen. Because again, you're looking at the concept of God as someone higher than you who's able to do something. It seems like a transactional relationship. I will fast on so many days and this is what you will give me. I will give you 500 rupees, 1000 rupees rather than 10 rupees and this is what you'll give me. What is it that we can offer God who takes care of 3 worlds? What can we give to a temple of Lakshmi and Narayan that they don't own already? So there's nothing we can give, right? But we look at God as a transactional relationship. But still there is a concept of God. And still there is a concept of hope. So no, even if our karma were not good in a previous life, the choice to believe in the light or do something about it definitely lies in this birth.
And what if someone, without that motive of that I'm worshipping you so that you can get me this, they are not devoting themselves to God because of that. They're just saying, okay, listen, I understand this must be my karma. I understand that I must have done something. But I need your wisdom. I don't even need your wisdom. I just want you to tell me that you're here for me. You're kind of holding the ground for me. What if, they don't even get that? Like when they feel it, because it's all about vibe. Like God is not going to come to you and tell you that, hey, I'm with you, right?
Correct.
You just go, I think in the world of God, you just go by the vibe and how am I feeling? And I feel very happy. I feel very supported. But if you do not even feel supported by him, then is it karmic?
Feeling supported is again transactional. I believe in you, you make me feel supported.
Huh.
Right? It's again transactional. We are again looking at God from the same perspective.
But isn't like the bare minimum that we would want from God that okay, I want to
feel it. So first of all, let me tell you that there are signs all around us. We just have to ask for a sign. And anyone who's watching this podcast, I would like to tell them, there's a very nice book by a lady called Pam Grout.
Okay.
She's written a book called E Squared.
E Squared.
Yeah, it's a very small book of 21 experiments that you can do with the universe.
Wow.
So this question is proof of the pudding is in the eating. Please go buy that book, download it, listen to it in Audible. You will get signs. This is first thing. The thing is the human mind doesn't want to believe the signs. But I had a very interesting thought on the thing that you just said, that if this is my karma and I have to face it, then can God just give me a sign that he's with me? My question is that are what we are facing all a result of our karma? No. Some of it is lessons that we've come here to learn. Okay. So if you're experiencing not getting a job after hundreds of trials, it is not that you must have eaten hundreds of jobs in your previous life and therefore you're facing it. It's not so victimized as well. Sure. These are opportunities for you. Probably your lesson in this life is courage or resilience, and you need to go through 20,000 opportunities before you actually land a job. Maybe you didn't have gratitude or you want to practice gratitude in this life.
Okay.
So at that point in time, definitely your Shani Mahadasha will be going on, which slows everything down. Yeah. And therefore, that could also be a lesson. So everything that we go through in this life is just not a result of our karma. It can also be an opportunity that we need to understand and say, oh, it's like going to class 4th from class 3rd. Not every teacher who will come will only repeat the lesson you didn't learn there. Right. There are some new subjects also.
True.
So maybe what we are facing is just not karmic. Maybe it's exciting and we have to see, human beings always perceive effort and delays as a karmic punishment. But that's not always true.
Thank you so much, Dr. Manmeet. Again, an episode of absolute delight, discovery, awe, and whatnot. It's always a pleasure holding the conversation with you and like getting so much of downloads and insights from you. I really hope that today's episode is again a portal where other people can transcend and get to know more deeper about karma theory. So big gratitude to you. Thank you so much.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And to all you lovely people who stuck till the end, please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. If you think that someone thinks really deeply about karma all the time, don't forget to share this episode with them. And we will be back again with another exciting episode and another exciting guest. Till then, take care. Thank you.